Meditation and difficult emotions. So this is a deep and vast subject. I'm going to cover some of the key principles here today, and I'm sure we will cover them again and again. Of course, when meditation is being advertised, when mindfulness is being promoted by insurance companies, by spas, by travel agencies, the imagery that we see, the imagery that we are attracted to, is of beautifully slim, gorgeous people sitting in tremendously elegant environments with beatific smiles on their faces, and it all says, "Perfection is yours." And that's a beautiful invitation, as unreal as it may be, because when we meditate, we are working with expanding the horizon of our awareness and deepening our capacity to be present to and to include and to integrate all that is revealed as the horizon of our awareness expands. So if we think about the conscious mind as the small little gated community within which we live our everyday existence, that horizon is quite narrow and quite conditioned by our cultural and personal histories, as well as by our deeper karmas. What is surfacing, what is present to our conscious attention is quite narrow. Even if we simply consider the cycle of the day, with the waking state, the dreaming state, the dreamless sleep, which are organic states that everyone moves through, you included, the average person, the untrained mind, has a small amount of conscious awareness. They're aware of their own situation. As this center of attention shifts into the dream state, turning inward, most people without training and without cultivation simply go unconscious. And that remains through the dreamless state until they return again in the morning. What we're doing in meditation, again, is to expand our capacity to be present through all of those stages of the cycle, through the waking state, through the sleep state, the dream state, and through the dreamless state. And this is what we practice and cultivate in meditation, because as we meditate, then the center of our awareness will move from the waking state, which is symbolically associated with the right-hand channel in the subtle body, and then it will move over, passing through the central channel into the left-hand channel. Many people fall asleep, go unconscious, become drowsy, or become lost in the ruminations and the reflections and the associations of their subconscious mind. What we want to do is to remain present. That's what we're practicing, cultivating that presence, which is ever present. And within the deeper layers of the mind, there are states of consciousness that are outside the horizon of your current state. There are states of bliss, there are states of expanded recognition, and there are also states of trauma and hurt and woundedness that have been blocked out by that horizon. And as we sit, and as we become still, and as we begin to stabilize, those deeper aspects of the mind begin to present themselves. And today we're talking about the difficult emotions. So these difficult emotions are like unresolved patterns, incomplete conversations that are going to be arising. And they can arise as memories, they can arise as emotions, they can arise as bodily sensations and mixtures of all three of those, as well as the commentaries that we might run reactively in response to those. Now, meditation is a practice, as you know, that is opening you up so you can heal and the mind and the heart, and to transform all of the incomplete conversations, the incomplete memory tracks, the disturbing energies into factors of enlightenment, into radiance, into parts of the whole, into finding their place and their position and their participation in the psyche as a whole, not to be dislocated and disenfranchised and alienated to the outside of the horizon, but to expand the horizon to include with loving awareness all that is. And through regular practice, we're starting to strengthen our concentration power and our capacity to remain in presence as different thoughts and emotions arise, to remain effortlessly present as different patterns and distractions and emotions arise. So this is what we're cultivating. And one of the beautiful translations for the term meditation from the East is this word cultivation. We're cultivating an innate capacity that needs to be activated and integrated. The capacity to abide as awareness itself, your true awareness, which includes, embraces, and blesses, and is non-identified with all of those emotions that come up. So one of the ways that this capacity deepens, one of the signs that it's deepening, is that we develop our capacity first to release the reactive ruminations that arise as the emotions come into consciousness. They just come. We don't have to add commentary. We don't have to add self-judgment. They just arise. We develop a capacity to let go of our ideas about what's arising, our complaints about what's arising, our litanies of self-deprecation that arise. We let go of those. They may be accompanying the memories, but they are released. All of the associated narratives that are wrapped around particular emotional incompleteness, we release them. And instead, we are able to experience the intensity of the memory track that's opening up as sensation, as energy in the body. So that's an important marker in terms of our practice. The more we are able to release the veils and release the layers of associative narratives, self-identities, explanations, spiritual interpretations, all of it, the more we're able to release those and abide in the memory as a purely wordless sensation and energy pattern in the body, accepting what arises with presence and with grace. And what does it mean to accept and to welcome even what arises with presence and with grace? It's like what Rumi speaks of in the guest house, that every day there's going to be all these arrivals. Who knows who's going to show up? The caravans, who knows what they're going to be bringing? We don't. But we can be the host, who can be the innkeeper, right? Who welcomes. That's the grace. There's a kind of decorum. There's a kind of non-judgmental openness. There's a quality of self-containment, at the same time, deep opening of the heart to welcome in to the house those unexpected guests. And remember, in the New Testament, remember the story of Joseph, Mary, and the wandering, looking for a place to stay. Joseph and Mary is pregnant with what? With Christ consciousness, with the baby Jesus, the symbol of that Christ consciousness. And this is an important story for those of us who are meditating, because most of the innkeeper said, no, go by. You can't pay. You're not what I'm expecting. Go by. We are the innkeeper. And when these unsavory, unexpected, uninvited, apparently, guests arise and knock on the door, how are we to know that it's not really pregnant with that Christ consciousness, with that Krishna consciousness, with that Buddha awakening, that the welcoming, literally the welcoming of that, is the opening of our heart, the expanding of our horizon of awareness that initiates us into a profound revelation symbolized by the Christ, the Krishna, the Buddha, but realized in your own experience as your identity and as your life. So that's some thoughts about meditation and difficult emotions.